Welcome, everybody, to the Let's Get Critical podcast. We're getting a little bit deeper in now. We're getting a little bit more comfortable, and we're excited because our group is growing. But today we are going to talk about, I think, a very odd album. It is called Metal Machine Music by Lou Reed, and this was made in 1975,
right.
And it was his fifth album. And boy, oh boy, this is a strange album. But knowing Lou Reed's legacy, it's definitely an honorable mention in his catalog. Joined with me, of course, is our very own Zeke Zero and Ruben Beltran. And, of course, my name is Mike, but I'm trying to figure out if how to phrase this, but my stage name,
your mutant name,
my
man.
mutant name,
yeah.
yeah, my mutant name is Mr. Kerosene. But we're just fellas hanging out and talking about music. We love music, we love making music, and we love listening to music. And I think we love making music because we love listening to music as well, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, just getting into this right off the bat, I mean, what did you guys think of this album?
Well, this was Mr. Zero's pick here when it came to to reviewing. So I think you should go.
Yeah, I was doing research one day about albums that really didn't hit well with the critics, and suddenly, generations later, people are calling it like a masterpiece or something that should be looked over again, as because at face value, if you first listen to it, you're like, it's just noise, But but to be honest, well, we're gonna get more into that.
Yeah.
But that's the whole reason why I wanted to bring up this album for you guys to listen to, just to hear your opinion on it, because I heard it once before a few years back. And I couldn't. I cut out quickly. I think I only listened to half of it. And I was like, oh. This time around, I sat with it and I let it like linger inside of me. It's almost pulsating, I guess you could say. I don't know about you guys, but to fall asleep, I put on some sounds that I found on Spotify, like snowstorms and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's what this.
Very ambient.
Yeah. That's what this project seems to me is more of it's to create creativity, I think. If you listen to it, it'll inspire you not to think of music as in a structural form, but as a fluid form. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I can't wait to hear about what you guys think about it, and if you guys even sat through the whole thing. Because
I did.
I heard some people they can't. For some people they just. I mean, like I said, the first time around I cut out, and I was like, no, I can't do this. But
it reminded me a little bit of like that movie Juno, where the character's talking to Michael Bateman's character. She's like, by the way, I picked up another album, and it was just noise. It sucked, I thought of this, okay. Not that I thought it sucked, but that totally is what came to mind,
Mm-hmm.
It's, artists like an artist like John Frusciante has stuff on his album where he has like a lot of melody, and he has some things that are just very abstract pieces of music.
Yeah.
And I think this reminded me a lot of that. I did sit through the whole thing. I did it, in a couple different places on my commute, and I did it while I was at work too. And then I also did it here at home, like really late at night. And I just kind of sat there. I had to turn the TV off and just kind of just listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if we'll be able to do a top 3, bottom 3, because this is not that kind of album,
I agree. So I was able to come up with a top 3, bottom 3 for this. Now, not based on the actual context of the music, but based on some other criteria. So I will say this gave me a headache. Like I had to listen to it in pieces.
Well, that's what some people do claim, that it causes like kind of motion sickness for some.
Yeah, it was actually kind of nauseating for me. But that's that's to each their own, right? But I I did get from start to finish, and immediately I was a little bit more interested in the story behind this album, right? So, for one, apparently he tuned all his guitar chords to the same note for this album.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
And that is very, very bizarre, but in a good way, right? And some other things, right? This album actually kind of cost him his reputation a little bit. Like, it was very critically panned, and I think he kind of just blew right past it. He actually didn't perform this album at all until I think 2002. Apparently, he hadn't done anything live with this album until 2002.
Wow.
He was inspired by mid '60s drone music, and another last fun factoid about this is the language of the Star Trek aliens known as the Breen was inspired by Metal Machine music.
wow.
I didn't know that.
I
That's
didn't
a
know
trip.
that either.
Yeah, post-production sound staff were instructed to listen to this album when creating the electronic cackle that served as the Breen's voices.
Wow, that's really cool, actually. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, not for nothing. I mean, this album it at least had some cultural significance.
Some reach. Yeah.
A bit influential, right?
Yeah, and what I love about Lou Reed, I would say between David Bowie and Iggy Pop and Lou Reed, I probably know the least about Lou Reed, right? I know that he was in the Velvet Underground, and then he went solo, and then he did a bunch of crazy stuff, and there's that like Metallica album that has him singing over their instrumentation. But like, if you were to go back to 1975. Especially around the time when like David Bowie and Iggy Pop and Lou Reed were hanging out in New York City, I mean, they were deconstructing and reforming what music meant, right? I mean, the early 70s was very like meat and potatoes, rock heavy, kind of like, arena rock, like Led Zeppelin, The Who, all that stuff. And then by the end of the 70s, it's like you have electronic and synth and punk and like very artsy stuff like Lou
Avant-garde,
Reed.
yeah.
And it's always really interesting, just studying the dynamic between those three. And if I remember correctly, for instance, like Lou Reed had no respect for someone like Iggy Pop. But then you listen to this and it's like, damn, dude, you're going like way out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that said, let's get into our top three, bottom three. And I guess I'll start, right?
Yeah, because I don't have one, to be honest with you. It's all.
So my bottom three would be it would be part one.
Well, there's 4 parts, right?
Right.
There's 4 parts. Right?
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know, and you should really check out this album when you can, if you can, because it's an experience. My favorite tracks would be part one. No, I'm sorry. My least favorite tracks would be part one, part two, and part three, because it means the album's not over yet.
Did you listen to it? You said you broke it down, right? When you listened to it,
I had to.
You had to. Okay.
Yeah, and then my top three would be part two, part three,
And part four. Because it's over. Right?
Part four being my favorite because once it ended, I'm like, oh, thank God. and here's the thing, not for nothing, right? I respect the art. I respect the art,
right?
But it was fucking killing me.
Yeah. I think they call it Metal Machine for a reason, right? It's almost The first time I listened to it, it was the same way, like that. I felt like there was a drill being pointed to my head, and so I couldn't take it either. And I don't know if my taste has changed or I wanted to give it a second chance just to see, because from what I read, there's a meaning behind it, It's not some dude making noise,
right.
Which I originally thought.
Yeah.
But I think it's up to the listener. If if maybe Lou Reed could be messing with us and tell us, yeah, it has meaning, and it really doesn't. So we don't really know.
You know what? I think that would be the like the best case thing. Like if it's something like where he's just fucking with us.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the first thing I thought was, did Lou Reed have like a contractual obligation to give the company like a 5th album? You know what I mean? Was he on a 5-album deal? And he's like, well, fuck you. Here's what you're gonna get. You know,
because
like,
Neil Young did something like that too, right?
Yeah, well, he did like a weird futuristic thing, and they sued him. They said he didn't sound enough like himself, right?
That was in the 80s, right?
In the
When
80s,
he, like really went off the
he wore like reflective clothing and glasses. He was like kind of like Frantic Romantic before there was a Frantic Romantic. Honestly, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. You know, I remembered Jerry Cantrell saying, well, fuck the label. This is what they're going to get, you know, like.
Right.
And I kind of pictured that kind of scenario. But no, now that I kind of learned a little more about it, I think he was just being a little bold. I mean, it's definitely not going to be for everybody's taste. Very artsy.
Yeah, I look at it as art, right?
Yeah.
Like almost as performance art.
Yeah.
Like you're putting this thing out there, and you're not doing it to sell units or for people to fall in love with it, but to see how people react to it.
Right.
And I think honestly, like 5 albums in, going like that far off the rails is like it's commendable, right? I don't think people would be able to do that now and get away with it and have like a record label especially be like, cool, we're putting this out, you know?
Well, yeah, that's what I told you when we talked about this. I was like, man, who greenlit that? Like, like I know the labels put really big budgets out there. Like, I wonder how much he spent budget-wise to make this. I don't know if either of you guys know that number.
I don't. I can't imagine it cost very much though, right?
I don't think so, but I mean, you know, like with a lot of major productions, they charge you for everything. Like they'll rent you the gear that they already own in their studios just to get that number higher, you know?
Right.
Well, I read that they put it out as a double album initially, and then 3 weeks after they pulled it off the shelves. It just wasn't. Yeah, it was doing horrific things to his reputation.
Yeah. Well, the double album, wasn't it just the 4 parts, but then backwards or something? Or like they were mirrored, right?
They made a different version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can listen to that one. To be honest, not to talk down about the album. I liked it this time around, this second listening, but only because it was more like white noise to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you were saying, you'll listen to stuff when you go to sleep. It's very ambient, so that makes sense, you know?
Right.
They can't be rocking out in the car with it. Yeah,
you know, I wonder what frequency this runs at, because there's a lot of people that, and I know myself, it was recommended when I was having issues with an ear to try healing with frequency.
Really?
You know, some people don't believe in that at all. Some people do, whatever, right? But I wonder what frequencies this runs in. I mean, maybe that's something that somebody like Lou Reed would have taken into consideration, you know?
True.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fascinating album. And, you know, I think it's a bold first pick. So thank you, Zeke.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was...
I know you were reluctant, too. You were like, I think I'm gonna throw this one at you.
Because I didn't know if you guys would want to listen to it.
But that's the point, you know?
Yeah, it is.
That's the point. Yeah, we're you know, again, kind of comes back around to like just, you know, kind of having the group listen to things that, you know, individuals might not have listened to before.
Right.
So this was definitely something I hadn't listened to before. Yeah. You know, unfortunately, I'm remembering right now that I didn't have time to pull up user reviews, which is unfortunate. So in place of that, I think we'll just do final words, right? Like a rating out of 10, and then also just final thoughts on the album. So, Ruben, if you'd like to go first.
I guess, you know, I'm not gonna shit on this album and give it a 0. I know how much work goes into making an album. I know, especially when you're trying to take a bold stance. I give it a middle of the road, I guess. You know, maybe I'll give it a 4. I don't know. You know, just to be fair, because it's not something I would bump in my car. But like I said, I'm not gonna pan it. I'm not gonna pan it 100%.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could rate it. To be honest, it's I think it's influential. and I think it's good to do research on musicians that have paved the way for us, and Lou Reed really stepped out and took a bold move with this one. So I think it's worth checking out. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea though, but I definitely think it's made its mark in history, and I think for that, I think it's worth checking out just for that alone.
Yeah, I agree. Interestingly enough, I would want to rate this on a scale, probably like it's different than I would rate most albums, right? And it's sort of like rating it on a scale of performance art, So I think for me, it's sort of like, okay, well, what was the intention behind him doing this? And the intention was to put something out there that the world hadn't seen before. And did he execute on that effectively? Yes. Right? So as a performance piece, I would say, okay, so like as music, I would give it a 0 out of 10. As a performance piece, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because it's very intentionally something that's set up for people to react to, and also kind of like unashamedly do so, right? Unapologetically do so.
Yeah.
So I think in the wrinkles of Lou Reed, it's definitely like a very cool thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, have you ever been inspired to do something after listening to this? You said that's kind of what the intention was, for people to do that. Because I know you write a lot of short stories and a lot of poems.
Yeah, because usually when I listen to music, while I do write, it can't have lyrics to it. It distracts me. So I'll listen to something that's instrumental. So yeah, I was able to write a little bit listening to this album. Because it conjured up a few things in my head, just ideas. Because that's what I like about music and certain albums with themes, right? And this album definitely had a theme, right?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see what would come out of me when I was writing. So, yeah. I think people could probably paint to this too,
I could see that.
Just have it in the background. Yeah, but we'll let the audience see what they think about that, right?
Absolutely. As always, we would love to hear from our audience. Please comment and let us know what you think of the album. I get the feeling a lot of people have not heard this album, so definitely go check it out. And then we're standing by to hear what you think. So, as always, we are Frantic Romantic. We are a band, and we're doing a podcast about music because we love music. We will see you next time on the podcast. And as always, keep in mind, we are doing plenty of things out there in the world. We are writing, recording, and playing music. So stay tuned for any news if you're interested in that. The best place to go is franticromanticmusic.com. We're also on Spotify, Deezer.
That's right.
Deezer's our favorite. And of course, all those streaming platforms too. So
Yeah, Instagram, all that.
yeah. TikTok, yeah.
We do have a TikTok.
Yeah, we got to fill up that TikTok, though.
Just put your dog on it. Just nothing but your dogs. Your dog, too. Yeah, you got Bowie.
Man, right. I don't even like that dog.
Let's Get Critical is a part of the Let Me Listen podcast network. You may find all Let Me Listen podcasts on such websites as Spotify, Deezer, SoundCloud, and other streaming networks. You may find more information about the band Frantic Romantic by visiting franticromanticmusic.com, as well as our social media platforms. We're always posting information about concerts, new music, and more. So please, visit us, reach out to us. Let us know if there's any albums you'd love for us to review. Until next time, this has been Let's Get Critical.